Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm here today with Dr. Q, the founder of Indian Palm Leaf Reading Institute. How are you, Dr. Q?
Thank you so much for having me, Doc. Very appreciated. I'm doing okay. You're in California. I'm in Phoenix. Not so far apart this time. Yeah.
Yes, well, I loved meeting you at the event that Sharon and Dr. Kim hosted at Kelly's house last weekend. You shared about the Indian Palm Leaf Institute, so I would love for you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, wherever you feel like starting, and kind of just let's just go right into it.
Let's dive deep. Okay, let's start with the basics so that people understand a little better what this is all about. Sages in India, thousands of years ago, we do not know exactly how long ago, but let's say between 5 and 7,000 years ago, the oldest one of them, known as Maharishi Agastya. Maharishi means great sage, and Agastya was his name. And he was a genius, not just a Maharishi who wrote these messages on dried palm leaves. He was also, a poet, a scientist, astronomer, many, many things. And there are books written about him too. And he's said to still be alive in a cave somewhere in the Himalayas to come back when his help is needed. So him and many other Maharishis tapped into the Akashic records through the help of primarily God Shiva and his wife Parvati to be able to tap into the Akashic records to download specific messages for soul to be delivered whenever that soul is ready to receive the message. We created the term Indian palm leaf reading because I wanted to make sure that a Westerner who most likely has never heard of this has a slightly better chance of grasping it. So Indian, hopefully people understand it comes from India. Palm leaf, hopefully they understand that it's a palm leaf and not the palm of your hand. And still we get many messages asking me, Dr. Q, can you please read my palm? And I have to say, my friends, check out our website and then get back with me. And reading, that is some sort of a reading. An institute, because we did this, I started this exactly, oh my God, today is actually a very specific day, auspicious day, I should say, because today, February 16th, 2016, we founded the Institute. So today we're celebrating our 10th anniversary in a legal framework that has become the world's biggest Nadi Reading Institute. So Indian palm leaf reading, but in India, nobody calls it Indian palm leaf reading. They call it Nadi astrology, Nadi reading, Nadi Shastra, many different names. Nadi has many meanings. Among them, it means pulse, representing life. If you look at it from a yogic tradition, it means seeker. So whoever seeks the information on the leaf is also known as a Nadi. Nadi means the leaf itself, where the message is written on. But it also means the exact moment in time when the message is divulged to the seeker, not a day before, not a day later. So Nadi reading, Nadi astrology, Nadi Shastra. And Shastra means treatise, a guidebook, to keep it simple. So these Maharishis tapped into the Akashic records and wrote down messages for soul, old souls, we talked about this before, very old souls, souls that are either on their last cycle, so last lifers as we call them, second to last lifers, that means they have one more life to come back, or souls who already graduated and reached moksha, if you wish, and that means they brought an end to the seemingly never-ending vicious cycle of birth and rebirth, which has 7 levels, and within each level, so level 1 is like very young soul. You go through that first level many, many times until you're mature enough to go to level 2, level 3, then you reach the 7th level. To help those old souls to reach moksha. What does moksha mean? Moksha means liberation from this never-ending cycle of birth and rebirth, which we know as samsara in the Hindu traditions. To help them across the finish line, the last bit to make sure that you reach moksha and liberation, so you don't have to come back unless you're crazy enough. And we both know Reverend Bill McDonald very well. He is one of those crazy folks who was already up there in moksha, with his toes in a sandy beach, sipping on his pina colada. And then he said, "Oh my God, I'm so bored up here." And he looked down and saw what he saw, and he said, "Let me come back voluntarily to help humanity." And that soul is known as a remoksha soul, a time traveler, or a light worker. And when a remoksha soul comes back, they do so voluntarily. No one else to blame. For the old souls, we can blame the big universe. See, I don't want to be here, but I have to go through this school known as life. But the remoksha souls are here voluntarily. The only person to blame, I keep telling Reverend Bill all the time, is you, my friend, because you came back. You didn't have to come back anymore. So the aim of the game for all souls is to reach moksha. And it's not an easy journey, as being a human in general is not easy. And if you are on the righteous path, it's even more difficult because you try to do good things and you're constantly attacked or constantly exposed to maybe not so kind energies trying to get you off the path. So these Maharishis, in their eternal wisdom, knew, because already then it existed, that during Kali Yuga, and by the way, we are in Kali Yuga now, and that reminds me to explain the yugas too. It's not the same as yoga. Yoga is, you contort your body or you meditate. Yoga. Yuga, there are 4 yugas, time periods, that are actually very, very long, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of years long. And we can compare them to the seasons. And Kali Yuga, that's the season we're in right now, is the dark times, winter, cold, not so comfortable. The opposite would be Satya Yuga, paradise. The big difference is in Kali Yuga, only 25% of souls are on the righteous path, which we in Hindu traditions know as Dharma. So 75% are not. Power seeking, money seeking, I don't know, suppressing others, ego driven, 75%. 25, try to do the good thing, try to be on the righteous path by being a teacher, by helping others, supporting the elderly, physicians, nurses, police officers, lawyers, for as long as they do it with kindness and the right intention. A corrupt teacher, corrupt police officer, corrupt firefighter is not on the righteous path, okay? So the Maharishis tried to help these 25% and only the old souls within the 25%. So the minority of the minority, given that we got 80 billion people on planet Earth today, we're talking a few million. We talked about this also before. I do not know, 50 million, 100 million, no idea how many, to reach moksha, to make it easier, to give them a guidebook, a guideline, a compass, so they can steer their ship in the right direction to reach moksha. And as they do so, create a better life trajectory for themselves. And that's, by the way, the one sentence, boiling it all down, why a reading helps really whoever feels inclined to get a reading. To help you, the seeker, Nadi, remember, seeker means Nadi, create a better life trajectory for yourself after the reading. You are an old soul. You are among the 25% on the righteous path. And now you seek guidance, direction. You might be confused. You might have health issues. You might have money issues. You might have, I don't know, partner issues. Just because you're on the righteous path, just because you're an old soul does not mean that you're not exposed to worldly issues. Me too. My biggest issue in life has always been health. I've been in hospital more than most people, and I can share that too with folks. And that's ultimately the reason why I founded this institute. So these Maharishis wrote guidebooks to help good souls, old souls, those that are on the righteous path, to make it across the finish line and to reach moksha and liberation, to be reunited with the eternal source. No need to come back, stick their toes in a sandy beach, and sip on their pina coladas for the rest of eternity. So that's the aim of the game. In one sentence, one more time, they did so to help the seeker create a better life trajectory for themselves after the reading. Better, whatever better means to you. To me, it meant no more hospital, no more tubes down my throat, no more needles up my veins. To some other people, would mean become getting a baby, finding a partner, more money in their pocket, a more fulfilling job, something that's more in alignment with their souls, you name it, just better. And as you create a better life trajectory for yourself, in turn, you ought to help others create a better life trajectory for themselves. And by doing so, through a trickle effect, make this a better place for all of us. So now I put together the framework for you. I hope it was clear and folks understand what this whole thing is all about. So in short, these nadi leaves are a vehicle, crutches, one means of many to help you create a better life for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so fascinated that they have our parents' name in them and they were written
Yes,
2000 years ago or something. Like
I know, I
Dr.
know.
Kim and Sharon were both telling me their parents' names were in there. Like that's
Yes.
unbelievable.
We will talk about that in a minute. So I brought here a picture of the 18 main Maharishis of southern India. The 18 main Siddhars, as they're known, the wise people. And the one in the middle is Agastya. That's the person that I mentioned before. But 18 in total. There were actually hundreds of Maharishis who wrote leaves, but these 18 we consider the main ones. And allow me now to go through the process a little bit. When we put our historical glasses on, thousands of years ago, when these Maharishis tapped into the Akashic records at a time when India did not exist, not the way we know India today, of course. India is a federal country just like the United States or Canada are. The southernmost tip, the southernmost state of India is known as Tamil Nadu. It's big. It has twice the population of California, to give you an idea. So 85 million people live in that one state alone. It's elongated just like California, with one big difference. California is on the west coast in the US. Tamil Nadu is on the east coast, and it goes all the way to the tip and a little further up. And folks living there are known as Tamils. And Tamil Nadu is a country within a country, if I may say so loosely. Many reasons for that. The majority are vegetarians, by the way. Tamils consider themselves the original Indians, and they're very proud of being Tamils. So they are not taught the common language today, which people across India are taught. That would be Hindi. That means if an Indian who comes outside of Tamil Nadu visits Tamil Nadu, cannot communicate with Tamils and vice versa. They cannot revert back to Hindi. So they have to use English or Hinglish to be able to communicate. So it is a country within a country to a certain extent. And in this state, which is now known as Tamil Nadu, these Maharishis said in meditation, in the central parts of it, that is about 5 hours drive time south of the capital city, now known as Chennai. Until 20 some years ago, it was known as Madras. And the city, the big city, the capital city, has 15 million people population. So it's a big city of a big state. You drive about 5 hours south in the central parts of it, you'll come to a town known as Vaitishvaran Koil, which legend has it to be the birthplace of the Maharishis and Nadi astrology. The area around Vaitishvaran Koil, Chidambaram, Trichy, Salem, that is the hub for Nadi readings. That means today, if you visit that part of the country and the state of Tamil Nadu, you will find offices of readers all over the place to get a reading done. But please be careful, as hard as it is for me to share. The vast majority of readers today do not really know what they're doing. They have a 2, 3, 4 week long training session, and then they pretend they're readers. A real reader is born into a Nadi reading caste. And I know that the caste system doesn't exist in India anymore. And yet, I'm telling you, within a second, an Indian knows right away in which caste the person he's talking to belongs to. So it's passed on from grandfather to son to grandson, really. But as an outsider today, because caste system doesn't officially exist anymore, an outsider can also get a training. You need to find a guru, a teacher to help you understand it. And it takes years, really. It takes years to become a reader and then be able to identify your leaf and read it to you. So, putting our reading glasses on 5,000 years ago, one of these Maharishis sat down in meditation, tapped into the Akashic records, downloaded the message, and put them on palm leaves, big palm leaves that are much bigger than you are used to in California, by the way. And they cut them into stripes of about 10, 20 inches. They're not standardized, 1 or 2 inches wide. Etched the information onto a fresh leaf, juicy green fresh leaf. And when it dried up, the message came through. And then they put similar souls together in a book or bundle to then travel through the centuries. Now, this is a book or bundle. It's a demo version that I take with me whenever I give a talk. And I open it up for you so you can see it. Within a book or bundle, there are up to 108 individual leaves. 108 is a sacred number in Hinduism. In reality today, we only have 40 to 60 leaves in a book or bundle for a simple reason. They disintegrate, they get lost, taken out, you name it. So these bundles are stored in archives and libraries across, for the most part, southern India, Tamil Nadu. Not the type of library that you might be thinking of. No water dispenser, no air conditioning, no security guards. They're primarily in the hands of individuals, Nadi reading families and dynasties. There are state-run and municipal-run and federally run museums, archives, where you can go and check them out. But the juicy ones, the ones that we're interested in, the Nadi palm leaves, are 98% of them in individual private hands. Now, when they wrote them at that time, who could read or write? Only the elite. Very few people were actually educated and had the means of learning how to read and write. Priests could read and write. The ruling dynasties could read and write. But the common person, that would be 90%, more than 90% of people, could not read or write. So the Maharishis, in their eternal wisdom, said, how can we help the person who cannot read or write identify and connect with a leaf? So they used what everyone has, and everyone's individual. That would be your thumbprint. So the secret in this baby lies in your thumbprint category type. Everyone can submit a thumbprint, easy. You did that then, and we still do it today. The system, the process has not changed at all. So what would happen is it's a 3-step system process. Number 1, search for the book or bundle that I just showed you based on your thumbprint category type. Then the matching of the individual leaf within the book or bundle. And once it's found, matched, the reading of it. So you submit your thumbprint. And if you're in India, of course, you will go to a reader's office and then they will take your impression. If you do it with us, then you do it online. We send you the form. We advise you which ink pad to buy. It's super cheap, $3-4 on Amazon. It's an inkless ink pad. You can wipe it off. You buy that, you rub your thumb in, and then you put it on a form that we sent you. And to capture that is already a little task, because you need to put down the form on a desk and then put your thumbprint on it, flat, straight, no rolling. That's Hollywood movies, okay? So you put it down straight, and you got to practice it a little bit. Sometimes you press too hard, then it's smudged, or not hard enough, then it's too faint. So we always say put down 10, 20, however many you want, and we will then pick and choose the right one. So once we receive a readable impression, the reader team, and we work with several readers, by the way, would take out his magnifying glass, literally speaking, and look at your impression, identifying your individual thumbprint category type. There are about 2,000 plus thumbprint category types, but only 108, here comes the magic number 108 again, only 108 carry a leaf. So whoever seeks a Nadi reading, his or her thumbprint falls within one of those 108 thumbprint category types. Some of them are very common, And we've come across those many times. And some of them are so rare that even after doing this for 10 years and my readers doing it for 20, 30 years, we haven't come across those yet. Very rare. It doesn't make you special if you fall within the rare category. We're all special, by the way. It's how we deal with the gift called life that makes us special humans, but we get to that point at a later stage. So we'll identify your thumbprint category type. Gents would have to submit their right thumb, ladies their left thumb. It has to do with male and female energies in Hinduism. And by the way, the gender at birth is what counts, because in the meantime, we already had several transgendered souls as well. So it's always gender at birth that counts. And then once he has your impression category type, the reader will go on a physical search. Physical. I know that we have the year 2026 and people think everything is now run by AI and computerized, but that's not the case with this particular thing. Absolutely not. There is no computer involved. There is no registry of any kind involved. There is no book they can look up, where are bundles. It's all through word of mouth. It's a physical act. So the reader will check out his own little archive, and we are, God knows how many archives we have in southern India, thousands, many, not just one or two. So there is no the archive, because we also receive messages saying, oh, can I go to the archive? It's like, my friend, there is no the archive. There are hundreds, if not thousands of them, strewn all over southern India. But since I talk about southern India, over time, people traveled. So you can get a reading now, today, also in Delhi or in northern India or in Sri Lanka. There are Tamils in Sri Lanka, Bali. But the hub, 80% of it, like the core land is still Tamil Nadu. So we do a physical search, check out his own archives. And these archives only have 200, 300, 400 bundles in them. Not very many, maybe 1,000 if it's a big one. If you cannot find a bundle that matches your thumbprint category type, he will go to his neighbor. He would walk down the road, then he would hop on his bicycle and check out the one, at the end of the village. And if it's too far away, he would hop on his moped, on the bumpy roads of India, go to the village next and the one further. And if it's too far away, use a public bus, on a bus in India, going from one little village to the next. And nowadays, of course, if it's too far away and it cannot locate a bundle that matches your thumbprint category type, we will, of course, call an agent 5 hours away or 10 hours away and say, can you please check in your area to see if there is a bundle for you. Hence, you got to be patient because it's a physical act. If you're super lucky, can it be in one day? Of course, yes. But in our case, and with our institute, the average search time is 3 to 6 months from the moment we receive readable impressions. And that has primarily to do with the sheer amount of seekers that want to get a reading from us. So we cannot jump through things as fast as we want to, one reading at a time. We expand our team, of course we do, but you got to be patient. So after some time, you would receive an email from us saying, congratulations, we found your book or bundle. That in itself is a divine act because there are thousands, tens of thousands maybe, of bundles that would potentially have or would match your thumbprint category type. So a reader is not just picking the very first one. It's a divine act. They do not know it themselves how they do it. They feel it. They say, yeah, I think in this one, we will find your particular palm leaf. In your case, Pontia, because I know you're waiting for yours to happen at some point. So once they find it, they bring it back to the office. So step one, the search for your bundles has come to an end. Then matching and reading is done either, if you're in India, at the office of a reader, in our case, over Zoom. We send you an email saying, congratulations, we found your bundles. You can choose your appointment date and time. And for that, we need about 3 to 4 hours because we do the matching part, step 2, and the reading part in one session with a 15-minute break in between so you can use the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, relax, smoke a doobie to calm the nerves, and then we continue with the reading. So what does matching mean? When, and in our case, the reader will be in the reading itself. They don't speak English, our readers, so we need to have an interpreter who interprets Tamil to English, and we spend good money and some energy in training the interpreters in India to become a little more understandable for the Western ears. And I do understand that for some people it's a struggle. And that's the reason why I train Western moderators to be in your reading too. So there are 3 people in your reading, making sure that you get the most out of your reading. So the reader will open up the bundle and then read out a statement to you from the leaf. It's not a question, it's a statement. Because matching is a reflection of your current reality when you have your matching. To make you understand the complexity of this, allow me to explain. The leaves are written in a dead language, does not exist anymore, known as Granta or ancient Tamil. Both Tamil, modern Tamil, and ancient Tamil are sound-based languages, syllabic. Unlike all Western languages, including Persian, Pontia, it's Aleph Ba, alphabet, A, B, C, D. English, French, German, Persian, you name it. Tamil is not. It's sound-based. Ts, h, ha, ch, and so forth. So if we had to convert Tamil or ancient Tamil into an alphabet format, it would have 247 letters, 247. So dead language, syllabic language, sound-based. It's written as a poem. It'd be awesome if it said, this leaf belongs to Pontia. It doesn't work like that. It's a poem and primarily written as a conversation between Shiva and his wife Parvati. Question, answer, as a poem. And last but not least, the icing on the cake, it's written in code. Otherwise, we would not be able to compress so much information onto a leaf, right? So the reader, a real reader that is, with years of experience, he needs to be able to decode it for us to be able to find yours. So he would read out statements in a sing-song way. Dum baram 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 baram. That's how it sounds to me. And they do so on purpose because the Maharishis in their eternal wisdom stated that the matching and the reading, this whole process is meant as a healing process. Through the vibrations of their voice, you are being subconsciously, subliminally given healing energies. For example, he would read out, you are married, because the soul whose leaf it is a married soul. And if you are married at the time, you will say yes. If not, you'll say no. So either yes, no, right, wrong, correct, or incorrect answer to a statement. No need to give any more information than that. As an example, let's say you are going through divorce during the matching period, and the reader says, this is your leaf, you are married. You would have to say, yes, I'm married, but no need to say I'm married, but I'm going through divorce. That's irrelevant to the matching. And also, because it's a complex language, it's a sound-based language. For example, A, E, I, O, U, I have one symbol. So the reader might say, the second letter of your name is an A, E, I, O, or U. In your case, Doc, you would say yes, because it's an O. And then he will say, which one is it? You have to say O. So he knows how to interpret out of these 5 your leaf. It's important. It's no guesswork, but we need to help the reader to decode it in the right direction. So if you say yes to a statement, it goes deeper and deeper. You have 2 children, you have 3 siblings, you have this, that. You say yes, 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 it goes deeper. If you say no, then it's not your leaf. He flips over to the next, and it starts all over again. No notes taken by the reader. No notes necessary. He just reads it straight from the leaf. If you say yes to a statement, eventually you end up saying only yeses to statements, and that is when the magic happens. Entirely based on your thumbprint category type, the reader will then rattle off, dum baram 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 Pontia. You're like, oh my God, he just mentioned my name. Dam baram baram baram. In my case, my father's name Siavash. I was blown away. It's like, I know this guy's never heard my father's name in his lifetime before, because Siavash is an old school, Persian name. And then Dam Baram 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 Gisela. That's my mother's first name. Your first name. So in order to make sure that we, as ego-driven souls, in the human form, accept the fact that the message was written for us and not for our neighbor, or that it is just made up by the person who delivers it to us, the Maharishis put into the leaf information that only the seeker knows. Your name, first name, that is, no middle name, no last name, no nickname, the actual first name, your mother's name, your father's name, for many, spouse's name, sometimes even ex-spouse's name. So I'm already preparing the audience here, that you might be told your ex-partner's name and you thought you got divorced, you divorced the bugger and you will never hear back from the person again. And yet that name is on your leaf. So it was important for you to experience whatever you experienced. And so that soul was important to you. That's the reason why it's his or her name is also on the leaf. Your date of birth, time of birth, weekday of birth, how many children you have, how many siblings you have. In short, it's you. And it's a magical experience. Certainly was for me, and so it is for everyone else who gets the reading done. That's you. And allow me to already state this. If you think that this is hocus pocus, or the reader hacked into your Social Security or Facebook or whatever, then don't do it. Whoever knows India has been there, like me, many, many, many times. Our readers have to travel sometimes an hour or two to the office to have stable internet, number one. Number two, at their homes, many of them have an outhouse. They don't even have a toilet in their house. So do you really think that a reader would waste a minute of his precious life to hack or Google you? If you truly believe that, then don't get a reading. It's as simple as that. I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm here to share the information. And if it resonates with you, I'm pretty sure you'll have an amazing experience. So that's called matching. Second step done. And then comes the reading. Right off the bat, a reading must not be taken verbatim. Must not. Big mistake. It is meant as a guideline, as a compass, as a blueprint for your life, to help you create a better life trajectory for yourself after your reading. No one's life is set in stone or written on a leaf. It cannot. If it were, then you and I and everyone else would just be mere puppets. But we have free will and choice every single minute of the day. Turn left, turn right, how we react to certain things that happen to us. Do I keep my calm? Do I start shouting? Am I angry? Do I allow things to just unfold? That's free will and choice. Trust me. How much free will and choice we have, Doc, we can discuss that in a separate podcast in the future. But I am 100% convinced that we have free will and choice. The Maharishis can only show us the water, a way, a path, so we can create a better one, make better decisions, so we can reach moksha, but they cannot force us. There is no one with a gun against your forehead saying you have to because it was in your leaf. No. And it's also not a self-fulfilling prophecy. When I had my reading, I didn't have the guide that you have in me today, Pantia. I just jumped into it not knowing really anything about it or having a guide. My reading was like 12 or 13 years ago, a long time ago. But I intuitively knew I cannot take it verbatim. And I knew it's a guideline for me to just get better at anything, really. Just create a better life for myself and in turn help others. I had no idea at that time that I would be talking to you today. No idea that I would start this found this institute and the foundation on top of it. It just unfolded in magical ways for us. It's meant as a guideline, as a compass. And your reading is based on 3 aspects. 3. Number 1, your thumbprint category type. Your thumbprint category type is the only part in the reading that cannot be changed. It just is, neither good nor bad. I may share with you that some thumbprint category types are easier, and some of them are a little more challenging. And if you're already a little more mature when you get your reading, you can look back and understand, hopefully, why certain things have been the way they were, just based on your thumbprint category type. It is your red thread in life, your baseline. It's your energetic imprint, if you wish, manifested in your thumbprint category type. And we will explain it to you in detail at the beginning of your reading because it's essential for you to understand. So that's number one. Number two, it's based on your overall energies, not your mood. Whether you had coffee in the morning or not makes no difference. That will be your mood. We're talking about your energies. And according to our system, energies change every 6 months. So one could be in an energetic period where there is no leaf, no message. But of course, if you get your reading, you are in an energetic cycle where a message is written for you. And last but not least, number three, it's based on the stars and planets and their constellation because they have an impact on us too. The leaf itself has direct references to the planets in it. That's the reason why a reader is also a fully fledged Vedic astrologist. Vedic astrology, very different to Nadi astrology. Vedic astrology, if you get your astrological chart put together for you, the astrologer needs your birth time, minute, date, and where. Nadi astrology, Nadi reading, all we need from you is your thumbprint. That's it. Everything's based on that. But it does make references to the stars and planets. And that's the reason why the reader needs to understand how to interpret those. Hence, he has to study Vedic astrology too. So based on these three aspects, the reader decodes the leaf starting with the moment you get the reading until there is no more writing on the leaf. It does not mean the end of your life. It just means the end of the writing on the leaf. So on the day, you're only supposed to get this much information. So do not get stressed out that the leaf stops at 77 to 79, as it did with me, for example. It's just the end of the message. If I may use Reverend Bill again, when he had his first reading some 20 years ago, and he turns 80, by the way, soon, his reading stopped at age 70. And then I met him through the work that we do, and I was his moderator when he had his reading maybe 5-6 years ago. And his second reading was with us. And in his second reading, it went till 85, 86, and more. They told him, you have more books to write, you have more travels to do, you have more speeches and workshops to host, which he has ever since. So it's just the message for you at the time. And it comes in increments of 2-3 years, from the moment you get the reading until there's no more writing on it. Folks, this is a raw reading, also important for you to take on board. Raw, not sugar-coated. It's not meant for you to feel special or chosen because you have a reading. We are all special. We're all chosen. We're in this human form, and we're meant to be on the righteous path and do good things. Really, that is ultimately how I perceive my life. I'm here to help others. And according to Hindu traditions, that is the ultimate goal, to be on Dharma and eventually graduate and reach moksha, liberation. What you do with your life makes you special. What you do with your life makes you chosen. Not the fact that you get a reading. No. It tells me that you're an old soul, that you are the minority, the 25% that are already on the righteous path, but you might be off course. And the reading is here to get you back on course. It is raw, not sugar-coated. It gives you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If it's good, wonderful. That means your energies are in flow. And it might tell you age 44 to 46, I'm just making this up, is a good time to publish your book. Age 48 to 50, great time to meet a partner. Something like that. Good. The stars help you, align for you, but you still have to do something to make that a reality. Just because the leaf said you will publish your book 44 to 46, you still have to write it. You still have to edit it. You still have to publish it. Otherwise, nothing will happen. So I hope you understand and get the gist here. But if it's bad or ugly, embrace it with all your heart as a blessing in disguise. Because if it's bad or ugly, it's nothing more, nothing less than identifying a block in your life. It could be a generational block, a family block, a karmic block, a planetary block, many different types of blocks. Now you know you have a block. And the real power of the reading, the real power, secret is your thumbprint, but the real power, the gift of a reading are the remedies. Because for each block identified in your reading, the Bahai Rishis wrote pujas, remedies, on the last chapter, the 14th chapter, known as Kadmas, Kandams, the remedy chapter. You might have suffered from the block in the past, always hitting the wall, health issues, like in my case, relationship issues, not enough money, whatever. You might not have been aware of it. Now you know. That's the first step of changing something. Oh, there is a generational block. Oh, there is a karmic block. Oh, whatever. And in the leaf itself, you'll be given remedies. And the remedy part is the only part of your reading. Important. The only part in your reading that you must take verbatim. You must do the remedies exactly as prescribed and in the exact order. You cannot jump around and choose and pick. No, there is a system behind the madness, one after another. So a puja, literally translated, means prayer ceremony, a mantra, or ceremonial act, something you need to do physically. Donate clothes to the needy, give food to needy people or to animals, fish, give school utensils to poor children, whatever. It's a physical act. And they do come in a set format. Everyone's puja cycles are different. But if it's a prayer ceremony, a mantra, for example, would say for the next six full moon days, do this mantra dedicated to Shiva, or do this mantra dedicated to his wife Parvati, or to Ganesh, their son. You need to do it on six consecutive full moon days. If you screw it up, if you miss that day, you screwed up that cycle, and you need to start from scratch again. That's your way of showing the universe that you're serious about change and overcoming the blocks. If I may use a Western terminology, a puja is nothing more, nothing less than an energy shifting exercise. We talked about energies before. If your energies are in flow, and the most ideal curve is the sine curve in the universe, perfect, just perfect. We can never reach a perfect sine curve, because if we did, we'd have wings and a halo and would be up there, not in human form. But we can work towards getting as close as possible to a sine curve. And the closer we get, the more blissful our lives are. Health is good, money's in our pockets, we have friends, family, partner, whatever, all of it. But the further away it is from a sine curve, the more screwed up your energies are, the more drastic it presents itself in your life. Health issues, relationship issues, not enough money in your pocket, you name it. Either in one part of your life or your entire life is screwed up, So these pujas help you shift those energies. And they do work, but you got to put all your love into it. Do it with all your heart and the intention to overcome the block they were prescribed for. If you just do it as a chore, Dr. Q told me that, or the reader said so, then don't do it at all, because it's a waste of everyone's time. But if you do it with intention, with all your heart, you will slowly, gradually see things changing and shifting in your life. And I've seen miracles happen, really. We've done thousands upon thousands of readings over the past 10 years. And they do work in the majority of cases. Sometimes you need to do more work. Sometimes you need to repeat things, but the majority of the cases, they do work. So that's the puja part, which is the most important, really, and the most powerful part of the reading altogether. And with that, we've come to an end describing the three-step process. And you tell me if you want me to go deeper about myself or anything else you want to talk about, Doc. I'm happy to do so.
Yeah, I'm really glad you explained it in detail so people know what to expect, from the beginning to the end, that it could
Sure.
take some time, but that it's divine timing. They can't force when they get a reading, for example,
Correct.
like when
Mm-hmm.
God wants them to know, right?
Yes,
And it's an act of grace that the rishis did. So it's sort
it
of
is.
like they're trying to help us not repeat mistakes and get stuck on earth.
Correct.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would love for people to know a little bit about you, like your path, because you're Persian, you're deep into this Vedic Indian stuff. It's so rare for Persian people to even be into spirituality, let's be honest. They're mostly just about education and
Education is very big. Yes.
the
Mm-hmm.
thing. But the spiritual deep realm is not really a current Iranian thing, right?
Yeah, but I must admit we do have quite many Persian folks from Persian extraction.
Mm.
They might have been born in Iran or already born, outside of Iran. The diaspora of the Persians, which many has gone through, given the revolution in Iran, 1979. But we do, because all we know about the seeker, of course, we have a Western office, and the Western office has to deal with interacting with all the emails that we get. So the office needs to know your name, and of course, you submit your payment. So we need to be able to match those things. But the Indian office is completely separate from the Western office. I mean, they work together, of course, but the Indian office has no access to all the details, and we keep it that way because the reader really does not need to know anything about you. He just gets the impression form that we sent you. You put your impressions on it. You circle male or female and the country you were born in, and that's it. That's all the reader needs to know. And then he finds your bundle, and then the process starts. Yes, my father is Persian. I grew up in Iran till 1979. My mom's European. She's Austrian, blonde and blue-eyed. She's Catholic. My dad was Bahai. So I grew up as a bleach blonde kid, in Kermanshah, which is in the northern parts of Iran, in Kurdish country. So I have Kurdish blood in me too. As a Catholic Baha'i kid in a Muslim country, mind you.
Wow, so many
So,
different directions.
so in different directions, yes. And then 1979 happened, and it is now basically when the Shah of Iran fled Iran. It was in early February 1979. We stayed in Kermanshah and then Tehran, the capital city, for another 6 months because my father was wealthy, really wealthy. We had nannies and chauffeurs and the whole 9 yards, trying to see if this will go away somehow. And we then realized, or my father realized, because I was only 8 years old at the time, that no, this is very dangerous. So on August 30th, my mom, my brother, and I boarded a flight from Tehran to Vienna, Austria, the obvious destination because my mom's Austrian. And then my father tried to stay on for another few months to scramble whatever he could. He couldn't really do much. So overnight, from wealthy to paupers, really, that's to put it simple. We arrived with 4 suitcases. That's it. Thinking that we can go back like many other Persians thought too. And my father died, now it's 16 years ago. It'll be 16 years ago. Thinking, oh, we're going to go back. So no need to settle down here because we're going to go back like many other older generation Persians. We knew, and that's not going to change. And look at what has been happening for the past 40 years. And now is another attempt to overthrow the regime. I can only hope that at some point we'll be able to do so we can go back and visit safely. I did go back as an adult once after the age of 40 because if you're Persian, you can only go back with a Persian passport. You cannot have a foreign passport and a visa stamped in it. That doesn't work. So I had to get my Persian passport, fly back to Iran. And I was pooping myself. I was sweating. I was like, I do not know, what was going to happen. I did so after 40 because then you don't have to do military service anymore. And I didn't want to pay the regime $10,000, $20,000 to pay it off, buy it off of them. I didn't want to support the regime either. It was beautiful. I was amazed, in revisiting Iran 15 years ago. That was. At the same time, I was very sad what has happened to the country. Very poor, it's suppressed. It's a dictatorship. That's what it is. It's a religious dictatorship. And so I lived in Austria. In 1986, some of you might be mature enough to remember too, the world's biggest nuclear catastrophe happened in Chernobyl. At the time, it was the USSR. Today, it's the Ukraine. Again, an embattled land. And the nuclear clouds traveled 2,000 kilometers and dumped the nuclear waste over Central Europe. And Vienna, Austria is in the heart of Europe. If you know the European map, it's right in the smack center of it. And as a result, yours truly, and that was in April of 86, yours truly developed cancer. We were told, in April 86, we cannot go out anymore. We cannot eat any fruits from the trees or, playing outside. All sports activities at school were canceled. No more milk was given to us. But for how long do you do it? You cannot smell it. You cannot see it. You cannot taste it. It's invisible. So after some time, of course, being a teenager, you start running through the forest and, meet friends and drink milk and eat all the fruits. So it took a while, but then I developed cancer. And so from 1988 until 1990, 91, I spent 6 months as an inpatient in the oncology department, hematology because it was blood related, oncology department, cancer. And I saw people die, of course, people died. I saw people get shot dead too during the revolution. I remember that as well. And when I was admitted at age 16 to the hospital, I said, God, why me? Why? What have I done? First, the traumatic events of the revolution in Iran, and then cancer. But then at 19, they said, you're good to go. And I said, God, why me? How come I survived and other people were not so lucky? And that's the beginning of the journey of my spiritual, as a spiritual seeker. And ever since that time, I've done many, 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 many things, from Reiki healing to group therapy, family constellations. I studied it. I took part in it. Wanted to learn more about it, went to shamans in India, in the Amazon. I visited, God bless you. And so I'm open to it. I wanted to pierce the veil. I wanted to know how come things are the way they are, knowing that there is way more out there than meets the eye. Am I any wiser today after almost 40 years doing so? Not really. All I know is that the rabbit hole just never stops. It gets deeper and crazier the more you dig into it. But I'm open to it. I really am. It helps me to stay on the righteous path, to do good things. And so that's ultimately how I heard about Nadi readings too, because 13 years ago, I caught a virus which impacted my heart and sent me straight to the ICU. And that I survived is another miracle, really. The physicians told my mom that in my cancer hospital, I went back there because I thought maybe it's cancer again, but it wasn't. All we can do is just sedate him, pump him full with antibiotics, and hope for the best. And I came back. I'm here, otherwise I wouldn't be able to talk to you today. But my best friend, and at the time my girlfriend, Emise, visited me in the hospital. And so we talked about it, and I said, I think it has to do with karma. It must have to do with karma, because this lifetime, I'm convinced, and I hope I'm right, that I'm doing good things. I'm not driven by money. I'm not driven by, I don't even own a car because it's not important to me. But I thought, okay, I connected the dots and I said, it must have to do with karma. And Emise had heard about palm leaf readings, what we now call palm leaf reading, Indian palm leaf reading, at a local radio or TV station in Hungary. She's from Hungary, Budapest. And she said, you can get your karma cleaned doing so. I said, oh, well, if I survive, if I come out of here, I get my reading done. And I did survive, and I got my first reading. And because so far I've had two. And in the first reading, it blew my mind because I came completely unprepared, really. And then he rattled off your mother's name, Gisela, father's name, Dambaram, Baram, Baram, Siavash. I was like, holy moly, man. What is he talking about here? Your parents are from two different countries. You had a big health issue as a teenager. Yes, I had cancer. You had a big heart issue. Yes, I just had survived, myocarditis, which is the inflammation of your heart muscle. And then he gave me my guideline, and he said in a by sentence, no, I'm not chosen, really, I'm not. He just mentioned it in a by sentence, saying, "Oh, and by the way, you're going to bring this to the West." I was like, "Really? Me? Look at me. I'm a white guy. I'm an average chap from the West. I have no connections to India. Really, I don't at all. I'm a traveler. I've been to 100 countries in my lifetime because travel is my passion. I love meditation and yoga and hot Indian food, as you know, Pantia, because we had last time some Indian food. I love it. But apart from that, no connections whatsoever. And yet here I am talking about it. And the whole reason for it is I shared my experience with enthusiasm to my family and friends, and they all wanted to get a reading done too. So I said, wonderful, let's hop on a plane and go to India and get it done. And that's when I realized that most people, Western people that is, go to India. India is a no-go zone for the vast majority of Westerners. Too hot, food's too spicy, I don't know, too dirty, too poor, whatever the reasons might be. And that is how we started doing it on Skype. Skype doesn't even exist anymore these days. And the rest is history, because then friends of friends came and friends of friends of friends came. So 10 years ago, we put this today, 10 years ago. That's amazing. It's our anniversary, by the way.
God is all about math. I always tell people, it's like very precise,
It's perfect, yeah. And so we put it in a legal framework. We're based in the United States. We are governed by US laws. We voluntarily adhere to the very strict, one of the strictest in the world, California consumer protection laws. So people can embrace us. Hopefully, they see it with everything that we do, that we're ethical, that we try to help. If you're not happy with the service, if you are not happy with the reading, just tell us. You get your money back. Not a big deal, really. We're here to help. And I do have to embrace the fact, after thousands and thousands of readings, no matter how hard we try, how much we want it, we cannot help everyone. It just doesn't work like that. But you can rest assured that you are loving and caring, and we do our utmost to help you and get the most powerful reading possible. A little bit about the Institute, because it got a little screwed up when I set it up. So now we have an Institute, and we established a foundation too. So every reading helps us help more. So we support an orphanage in the town of Chidambaram in India. Every year we go there and bring a whole suitcase of the one thing that they want, the one thing, and only one thing, that's chocolates and candy and sweets. So we go there, and we even bring them Advent calendars. For those of you who are Christian, you know what it is. They love it. It's a husband and wife run trust of 100 or so people that live there, orphans and also elderly, and many of them have physical and mental disabilities on top of it. But they run such a beautiful organization that when I first met them, I was like, we're going to support you. And soon we're going to add a second orphanage as well. And of course, we support the readers and their families. We want to make sure that they have a good income and can do what they're meant to be doing as a reader. Because in modern India, way too many readers give up their traditions and embrace modern India, call centers and IT companies and all the rest of it. So India has changed a lot too. And so with us, if you want to get a reading, if this resonates with you, you would pay $100. You will go to our website, indianpalmleafreading.com, super easy, indianpalmleafreading.com. Click I'm ready to start my journey. And then you pay $100 for the search for your bundles. You will receive the information how to submit your thumbprints. And then we will say, yes, thank you. We got your thumbprint. It's readable. We can use it. Please be patient. We put you on a wait list. Next in line list. That's how we call it. That's a holding area until we have capacities freed up. And when that happens, at the moment, it's not that long, actually. It's maybe 2-3 months only, because we really expanded our team a lot. But soon it will be chock-a-block again, as our interview with Joni Patry will be going live in a couple weeks from now in early March. So we will send an email saying, congratulations, you'll be moved to the active list. Active list means we will actively search for your bundles. At the moment, the average search time is 2 to 5 months, 3 to 6 months. I do not know. It can be a week. It can be. I just do not know. I simply don't want you to send us email saying, have you found my leave yet? Have you found my leave yet? You will receive a message from us once the bundles have been located. And then you pay $400 for your matching and reading. And then you can choose really any day of the week. We offer 7 days a week at 2 set times, about 350 days a year. So almost every single day of the year, you can have a reading. There are a few exceptions, Pongal and Diwali in India, of course, Christmas and New Year's, but even on Thanksgiving, we offer readings. So we try to be open as many days as we possibly can. And we have 2 set times. It's also important for you to embrace and understand, because we have a global audience. We have people from New Zealand and Australia, even Arabia these days, Saudi Arabia, we've had readings for Kuwaitis, Africa, East Coast, West Coast. So we had to figure out times where we can cover the world without too much movement. And that is when we settled on these 2 times. For my California-based folks, it would be at 9:45 p.m. California time, 9:45 p.m. California time, or 3:45 a.m., so early morning, 3:45 a.m. California time. This corresponds to 12:45 a.m., so shortly after midnight, New York time. The 9:45 p.m. California time equals 12:45 a.m. New York time, or 6:45 a.m. New York time. So the 3:45 a.m. California time corresponds to 6:45 a.m. New York time. So these 2 times are set 7 days a week, and we have several readings at the same time, of course. So we have many readings during a day. That is primarily because of the big time difference that we have with India, 10, 13 hours, 14 hours, depending on where you call in from the Zoom. We record the whole thing for you. You don't need to do anything. I work with a team member who only does, that's his entire job, edit the videos. It's a full-time job. Edit the videos. So all you need to do as a seeker in your reading is just focus on it, be present. You don't need to write things down, just be present. So you get a beautifully edited video of your matching and the reading. You get the whole transcript. We type a lot in Zoom. So we use the chat function a lot by explaining things and help you understand the meaning of whatever it is said in your reading. And you get your pujas in a PDF format, including pictures of the gods and goddesses. About 10 to 14 days after your reading is completed, you click on it, download everything, and then you're done. Most of you will be prescribed a puja, a remedy, home-based puja. Fun enough, we call it temple puja, even though it's done at home. So almost everyone is prescribed a puja. Very rarely people are not prescribed home-based puja, like Reverend Bill, and that would be people, souls that are remokshat. If you're remokshat, you don't come with baggage onto this lifetime, really. That is, but everyone else has a home-based puja prescribed. And you could also be prescribed an additional optional puja to be done by a priest in a temple. Now, if you know a temple and a priest, beautiful, you can organize it yourself, because we use the ancient terms for the pujas. So any educated priest should be able to deal with them. If not, we of course work with Brahmani priests. We have a whole group of them that do all of our pujas in India. And you can rest assured that it's done with all their heart, and you will know beforehand when it starts, when it ends, the name of the priest, the temple, all of that, and they come at with an additional cost, which is also not very much, because we try to keep things as affordable as possible. They're about $300, give or take, not so much money. So yeah, you can also find us on social media, Indian palm leaf reading on Facebook, Indian palm leaf reading on um, what's it called?
Instagram.
Instagram, yeah, Indian palm leaf reading on LinkedIn. We have that too. On YouTube, by the way, YouTube is Indian palm leaf reading Institute. There is a whole section of about 15 or so, I think, recordings of folks who have allowed us to put their matching and reading, the whole thing, on YouTube. So you can go and watch that and so have a better understanding of how the whole process works. And mind you, though, every person's reading is personal. Your data security is very dear to us. That's the reason why we communicate with you through a secure platform for which we pay good money to keep it secure and safe. So you upload it through our secure platform, you pay through that secure platform. And once your reading is done, you have 30 days to download it, and we send you a link to download it. And once it's downloaded, we wipe everything from the system. You cannot call us back a month later or 2 months later and say, oh, I lost my files. Can you please send me a recording? No, we cannot do that because we don't keep anything. So it's on you to safeguard your reading documents. So that's about that too. So hopefully people understand that they're in loving, caring hands with us.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Amazing, like how much work you've done to prepare this for everybody. It's just I'm so grateful for you, for the rishis, for Shiva and Parvati. Just so many
Yes.
good forces have come together to present
Yes.
this gift to people.
Thank
Because
you.
to not graduate this lifetime or next lifetime would really suck, I think, for people that are like so close, but they're just messing up like 0.5% or something or 5%.
Correct.
So this is kind of
Correct.
correcting it. So
Yes.
feels
Absolutely.
really good. And you're going to be at the Conscious Life Expo next weekend as well, right?
Yes, indeed. I'll be Conscious Life. We've been there for, I think, about 10 years by now. We have a booth. Our booth number, the booth location is always the same, but the organizers, the expo, changes the number slightly depending on how their system works. It's 456 or 457 in the big exhibition hall. We're in the same location, the last 10 years. I also give 2 workshops on 3 lectures on Nadi reading, so you can come and see me. You can come to the booth and touch me if you want to. Hug you, give you a kiss too. Bus mikunam, yes, you can come. So people want to know that I'm a real person. Of course I am. I'm here to help people. I still make no money with this. It's still good karma work. I have a real job outside of this. And whatever I do comes from the heart. I'm here to help my Indians as much as I help seekers to get their reading from the comfort of their home in ethical hands with us. And so come and see us. I will be very happy to see you in person at the expo or in San Diego. I'll come back to San Diego the
San
week
Diego
after.
too, you're going to be February 28th. You're going to be in
28th.
Carlsbad, I believe.
Yes,
Sharon's
correct.
organizing that. And then
She is.
20th through 22nd in LA.
Correct.
And if people come to those, they can even submit their thumbprints there.
Yes, absolutely.
Quicker.
Yes,
Like a
we're happy with
little
that.
shortcut.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
It should be really good.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else that we needed to cover. Do they talk about like people's purpose? Like you said, for you, they said, you're here to bring this to the West, right? So in the readings, did they say like, oh, you were meant to do this, or these are the
Yes, of course.
that kind of stuff?
Help others, teach, give workshops. Yeah, it's meant to help you, really. It's a gift from the Maharishis to help you create a better life trajectory for yourself, to be in alignment with your soul's purpose this lifetime. Not everyone needs to become a healer. People also think, oh my God, after reading, I need to become a healer, energy healer, Reiki healer, whatever. No, you can be a stockbroker on Wall Street and still be an ethical human being and help others. As long as you do it with an ethical approach, wonderful. Continue doing what you're doing. Stay a lawyer, stay a banker, stay a broker. Beautiful. It might just help you to broaden your horizons a little bit and see that through the divine gift that you have received in the shape and form of your job, in which you can make good money, help help others. That's it, really. The ultimate goal for us as humans is to realize helping others is the biggest gift we can give. And not just to the person that we're helping, but to ourselves, really. If I help another person, I help myself as the ultimate goal in this craziness called samsara is to reach moksha, liberation.
Absolutely. And then, so
Mm-hmm.
you said it's like from Shiva and Parvati are kind of having a conversation.
For the most part, yeah. Mm-hmm. But they're not all of them, but yes. Mm-hmm.
So other gods are in there as well when like in every
Vishnu, Ganesha, of course, absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
all the different
You
gods kind of show up.
you will be told which Maharishi wrote your leaf. You will be told to which god or goddess he meditated to be able to tap into the Akashic records. You will know all these are the basics. That's the
Oh,
beginning of the
right.
reading, basically. You will be told, okay, your Maharishi was Agastya. He meditated to Ganesha and Shiva, or to Shiva and Parvati to tap into the Akashic records. Then your thumbprint name is, and then we explain your thumbprint name. Also, your energetic dots, that's invisible dots that every thumbprint carries. They could be 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots. And then the reader will tell you how the dots are. Are they wide open, in flow? Are they a little blocked, completely blocked? You can change that too. You through your puja work, your remedies, you can help the dots to open up. You cannot see the dots. It's not they're not
Yeah, they'll say
real
it. They're
ones, but
dots
they're
on the
they're
side.
no, no, they're energetic dots. Okay,
Mm.
about education, about family, about children, money, relationships. So they will tell you that, and as you do the remedies, you help the dots to open up, and then hopefully over time you see changes in your life.
Okay. Wow, very
Mm-hmm.
cool. Well, I'm really excited to get mine and kind of like
I
discover
know.
what it says. And I'm curious how much of it will be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I know that. And then how much of it is going to be surprised. Like I had no idea. This is a whole blind spot. I'm really curious about that. So
Yes.
very
Mm-hmm.
cool. Anything else? Let's see. I think that's kind of like, and then it's kind of interesting because yesterday was Mahashivratri night, which is like the biggest
Mm-hmm.
Hindu festival ever, where Shiva like consumes all the poison in the
Yes.
world and then saves the world basically. And then it was also Tibetan New Year yesterday, and then it's Lunar New Year tomorrow, and a giant eclipse tomorrow, which is supposed to be like the beginning of a big change for the world. So I think it's really interesting how all these are kind of coinciding on the same week. And I have a good feeling about it though. Like I feel like even though there is some challenges, like for humanity does seem to be waking up at a much rapid rate. Would you think
Mm-hmm.
that? Like, would you say that like during the last 10 years, giving the readings, you've noticed a shift in the spirituality of the world or some kind of hopeful message for the people, I guess, if anything that comes to you for that?
Well, we're caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, I do see people becoming more aware and more spiritual. It's growing, it's blossoming. At the same time, regrettably, the dark forces have also risen dramatically. I won't go into politics at all, but just look around and you'll see on a global scale, not just regional or one country, on a global scale, all the craziness that goes on. So the Maharishis try to help us create a better life trajectory for ourselves. That's number one. If you are not in a good place, you cannot help another. We need to know that. So it's not selfish, it is fundamental. By you becoming better, you can then help others to become better. So it's a trickle effect. It's, sometimes it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't, just small adjustments. And then the effect down the line are dramatic. And that is the message from the rishis.
Okay, I like that. Small changes can have cumulative effects. That's
Oh,
cool.
huge, huge, huge changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
good. So then, so thank you again so much for coming on. I know you're on your world tour right now, just going everywhere. So I'm glad I was
Yes.
able to catch you in a good time zone. And Hopefully I'll come see you and Reverend Bill next weekend at the Conscious
That
Life.
would be wonderful. Wow, that would be
I hope people come and see you
beautiful.
guys too. Yes.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you so
yes.
much, Dr. Q.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Mhm.